Dr. Chatura clearly mentioned, we discuss among us about what should be our main values, whether we should take separation or coexistence, whether we should consider about imposing a cap or not. So, with these discussions, we derived our main values as separation and imposing a cap. So, as separation, here we consider a clear separation between human settlements and elephant territories. Why should we want separation? Because lack of consistent boundaries may blur the lines between human settlements and elephant territories. It is also important in managing and monitoring elephants effectively with increased ability of predicting and managing conflict. It is also important in the long-term conservation of elephants by allowing them to live in protected areas and reduce the human-induced stress on those animals. Another value we here consider is imposing a cap. Imposing a cap or census achievable population is also important for countries with limited land resources, such as Sri Lanka, to balance human needs with wildlife conservation. It is also important to ensure that the elephant population remain within sustainable limits without degrading the environment or increasing the conflict. So with that, this is what we aim to achieve through our strategies. As you can see in the first Venn diagram, there is an overlapping between where people live, elephants live, and agriculture activities happen. So with our strategies, we are trying to have a clear separation between human settlements and elephant territories, and also manage the overlapping between agriculture activities happening area and elephant territories. So with that, let's move to our spatial strategy on redemarcation of elephant conservation area.
So, identify the most appropriate land for conservation. We utilize our suitability analysis of agriculture, elephants, and the human settlements, prioritizing the exclusively suitable areas for elephants along with the agriculture, elephant overlapping areas. So, why we didn't consider about the other overlapping areas? Because the parameter we used to find suitable location for human settlements have more urban characteristics, and we already know elephants naturally avoid the human presence and the urban environment. So even though some areas might be environmentally suitable for elephant, demarcating them as a conservation area might not be effective. So with that understanding, using a grid-based method, we recalculate the suitability by cell. So how we did that was, if that exclusively elephant suitable area covers 50% of the cell, it was included in the conservation area, and also the agricultural elephant overlapping areas covers 50% of the cell, and if that cell lies within the elephant home ranges, it was included, and also that existing protected areas automatically designated as a conservation area. So with that reverse suitability, we are going to redemarcate the elephant conservation area, but the NPPD has already demarcated the conservation area with the spatial data given by the wildlife department, but it does not fully address that 50% of hecking incidents that occurs in the paddy lands. So therefore, we, as our strategy, we are proposing to redemarcate the NPPD conservation area with the land use negotiation with the agricultural suitability. So with that, what do we have to compromise? Like, what will be affected? Around 1,000 of square kilometers of paddy land. At a glance, you might think it's a big number, but 74% belongs to the low productivity area, and also 61% already being cultivated one season only. So they can be continued. And so let's see how we can implement those strategies.
Yeah. Under our strategy, our first action is introducing an elephant priority area. Are these elephant priority areas same as protected areas? No. Elephant priority areas are allowed for seasonal agriculture lasting up to 6 months per year and protected with seasonal fencing. And also, we do not promote new human settlements and developments in this area. So, what will people do in the other season? Yeah, for that, we are introducing a community-led tourism model focusing on sustainable, eco-friendly initiatives. It will include nature trails, guided tours, homestays, and craft markets, making it creating jobs linked to conservation. And also we have identified, considering this tourism potential, around 26 villages to introduce this livelihood diversification model. And National Physical Plan has already introduces a corridor urban development model which is ideal for Sri Lanka. But considering our newly demarcated elephant conservation areas, to reduce population pressure near these newly demarcated areas, our third action is introducing compact development for promoting dense planned developments near east-west, eastern and southern economic corridors. In business as usual scenario, population density will be like this by 2050. But to support our approach, our newly proposed population densities will be like this shown in the right side map. After spatially separating human settlements and elephant habitats, we need a physical separation. For that, we are introducing a guidebook for effective separation measures, which include guidelines, standards, approval processes, and implementation and monitoring processes, and so on. And here we have identified that there are mainly 3 types of locations that different type of separation measures needed. They are locations where urban centers bordered to elephant conservation areas, rural settlements bordered to elephant conservation areas, and inside elephant priority areas. So, as example, if there is an urban center bordered to elephant conservation area, and if it is a major urban center, we can separate it using dense built-in buffer zone. Likewise, different type of land users need different type of separation measures with guidelines and standards.
So this is our final spatial framework for our scenario. There are new elephant priority area based on our analysis. There are the area we are focusing on protecting elephants and reducing the human interference for those areas. And also there are a concentrated urban development area with away from conflict zones and giving suitable areas for their growth. And also there are integrated tourism villages to promote the enhance the situation of the local community. Especially the implementation responsibility of the spatial strategy is into local authorities. So with that spatial strategy, we are aimed to have a clear separation, as I mentioned before, clear separation between human settlements and elephant habitat, significantly reducing human-elephant conflict. So this is our first alternative solution. Let's move to our second one.
So in this alternative solution, our major values are managing the carrying capacity and separation of space. Our major goal is to achieve a minimum number of human-elephant conflict incidents in Sri Lanka by 2050.
Yes, and to achieve that, we believe that we need to do a clear separation between elephants and agriculture and human settlements.
So, through this solution, we are demarcating a fully elephant-only zone called as elephant enclosure zone. You can see in this light green color area. So, this area will be home to all the elephants in Sri Lanka.
Yes, so 1.7 million population depopulated local communities will be attracted to high-dense compact developments, and also we implement the 5-kilometer buffer zones to establish to prevent elephants from encroaching to the human settlements and exiting from the EEZ, elephant enclosure zone.
As this illustration shows, our goal is to connect these currently fragmented forest patches and habitats, creating a large, continuous and unfragmented area.
For the demarcation process of our elephant enclosure zone, we have considered different parameters for the different overlays. We have weighted those parameters and got the final output of areas suitable for human settlements and elephants.
This is the initial elephant designated areas we have got from the modeling process, and by considering the fragmentation and the fractal geometry theory, we have derived this elephant enclosure zone as you can see in this map.
Yes, this is the before and after scenario for after our strategies. So here you can see before scenario, within the area what we chose, there is a 70% of forest. After implementing the EEC, it will increase to 95% of forest cover.
Along with the ecocentric approach we used to establish the elephant enclosure zone, we also integrated an anthropocentric approach to our process. To achieve this, we applied percolation theory. Here's the percolation theory serves as a model for urban expansion by analyzing cluster formation and connectivity within spatial networks.
This is the urban expansion of 900-meter percolation threshold. So you can see these non-urban areas are closely aligning with our demarcated elephant enclosure zone. But if the urban expansion continues unchecked, it will go to a state like that, and this urban expansion will spread into elephant habitats and will worsen the human-elephant conflicts in the future.
Based on the 2011 Department of Wildlife Conservation census data, the estimated population of the elephants is 6,000 to 7,000 elephants. And based on our calculation within the existing conservation areas, the carrying capacity is about 7,250 elephants. Means 80% of the current capacity has been utilized.
Yes, as Ganesha mentions, we are going to increase the carrying capacity for elephants to 10,000 elephants. So the elephant population will naturally stabilize and sustain in this area by preserving their habitats, ensuring the food availability and reducing the human-elephant conflict.
So as you can see, the dark green patches indicated the most suitable habitats for elephants located within the elephant enclosure zone.
Yes, now we wanted a mechanism to keep the elephants inside our demarcated zone. For that, we are proposing a buffer zone. So we want a living and breathing buffer zone with high dense developments.
We want developers to come and build in order this buffer to happen. So we have provided some incentives such as tax relief and operational subsidies, land lease and purchase subsidies, and we'll allow only few types of developments, and all of them must be high dense ones.
In this map, you can see there are some patches inside this EEC. So these patches we are going to give it to human settlements and agricultural lands. And because those patches are very suitable for human settlements and agriculture. But if you look at the major as a whole picture of this EEC, you might tell this is a kind of a crazy idea, no? Because who is going to do this kind of things? If you do such kind of a thing, you may tell like alinta giya rata. No, we don't. It's not like that. Because in Sri Lanka population, most of people living in a Colombo-based area. Because if we look into analysis, this area people using by only few percentage of entire country. So within that, we consider this one could be happen. And you know thing, in 2016, a person spent 300 million USD to build a tunnel. 300 million to build a tunnel. And do you know how much worth it now? It's 100 billion USDs. And in that time, that was a crazy idea. Everyone's like blaming to him, who's the person who is going to spend 300 million to build the canal? But it's now 100 billion USDs. Likewise, we think this one is an innovative idea and it's like out of the box, but we think it will be work. And that's the thing. And
this is the structural design we are proposing for the settlements located inside the elephant enclosure zone. Not only agriculture, but also we can promote modern livelihood allocation within these patches.
Now you might wonder how it functions. So rather than promoting traditional agriculture, we propose tech-based agriculture. And also, we propose industries like world's largest forest conservation research centers, film production, biotechnology research centers, and also insurance programs for wild animals and wild habitats.
yes, so you may now wondering how we're going to relocate the people who are inside this EEC. So we are going to do is discouraging infrastructure developments and no new developments and connections, and also intensify developments in dense urban areas in buffer zones.
So this strategy includes incentives to draw people towards these receiver cities, such as eco-learning tourism, agro-smart hubs, circular economy farming villages, and livelihood labs for innovation and upskilling, as highlighted in the slide.
With forest types ranging from tropical to dry, our elephant enclosure zone will cover an area of 2.56 million hectares. Based on our estimates, the carbon sequestration within this zone could range from 13 to 25.6 million tons.
Yes, as she mentioned, these on the market, the carbon credit values around like a 40 USD to 80 USD per ton. So within our EEC, we think it will annually revenue like 650 millions to 1 billion USD. So something coming to my mind, but it's like so political. But I would like to move it to next slide.
Yes, one another significant benefits of this is that we can preserve large number of endemic species. By expanding and connecting their habitats, we improve their chance of survival more by giving them more resources and more space.
This is our final strategy map, and we firmly believe that we can achieve manageable human-elephant conflict level by 2050 using the strategies that we have mentioned. And with that, I'd like to invite my colleagues to present the alternative solution 3.
Yes, so far we have discussed 3 alternative solutions, mainly based on separation. So, however, there could be some people who would like to live in this rural settlement and willing to continue the same. So, there could be some alternative to address this problem for their sake. So, we believe that coexistence is the most suitable approach to mitigate human-elephant conflict. So, nowadays, Dilip, why coexistence is more suitable?
So we select coexistence because of overlapping of human-elephant conflict density. As this Venn diagram shows, 43% of suitability lands are overlapping with human settlement, agricultural lands, and elephant habitats. So due to that, we cannot allocate these lands only for humans, so only for elephant. So coexistence is more suitable one.
Yes. To successfully mitigate human-elephant conflict, we believe that we need to enhance capabilities for both human and elephant. So here we propose to enhance human capabilities for coexistence and economic resilience, and also to strengthen capabilities for elephant adaptation and habitat resilience. So let's see how we are going to enhance human capabilities for coexistence.
In order to enhance economic resilience, we simplify the HEC regions into 3 priority areas, which are productivity-centric priority area, forest-centric priority area, and urban-centric priority area.
So can you explain what is the rationale behind this priority area formulation?
Yes, Dilip. This formulation mainly based on 3 factors: paddy productivity, human settlement density, and number of protected area. So as example, when we consider Anuradhapura area, it has high level of paddy production, and also it include with moderate level of human settlement, and it include with less number of protected area. So this area's main and unique characteristic is paddy productivity. So based on that, we formulate that area as productivity centric priority area. So likewise, we formulate other 2 areas as well.
So urban centers like Anuradhapura belong to productivity-centric priority area. Polonnaruwa, Mahiyangale, and Trincomalee urban centers belong to forest-centric priority area. And urban-centric priority area include Hambantota, Ampara, and Kalmune urban centers.
So Dilip, what are the specific activities that can we implement to enhance economic resilience?
Yes, Jismi. If I take example in productivity-centric priority area, in this priority area, we mainly prioritize paddy farming while maintaining human settlement and protected areas as it is. To enhance paddy farming in this area, we amalgamate small padland to larger padlands. So it will lead to sharing and pooling resources and have scale of economies. Also, we are going to promote improved storage facilities for farmers and agro-tourism for diversifying livelihoods. Also, in forest-centric priority area, we mainly prioritize community-based wildlife tourism focused area as Madhuroy National Park, Wasgamu and Galloy National Parks. So, in urban-centric priority area, we mainly accommodate Greater Hambantota and Eastern Urban Corridor, considered as a national physical plan. Also, we focus in key coastal tourism destinations like Yala, Kuman and Arugambe.
Yes. The level of human-elephant conflict varies across this priority area. So how will you designate the land use activities considering this human-elephant conflict? So Navodi?
Yes, Jitmi. For that, we designate 3 subzones as high-intensive development, moderately intensive development, and low-intensive development based on 3 criteria as heg density, built-up area density, and heg overlap agriculture villages. Low-intensive development areas mostly within the buffer zone of existing protected area and also largely overlapping with elephant home ranges. High-intensive development areas accommodate over 50% of conflict due to triple overlay. Therefore, we need different land use strategies for different zones. So let's see how proposed activities are different in these 3 zones.
So let's take productivity-centric priority area as an example and see how these land use strategies varies in these 3 subzones. First, look how agriculture development take place. Existing agricultural practices can be continued in seasonal agricultural fencing. Also, we are going to promote leasing of government land for large-scale agriculture development in middle intensive development areas and small scale farming in high intensive development areas. So because small scale farming is a traditional livelihood among many locals, also large scale farmers are more affordable to use elephant mitigation strategies than local scale farmers. So Navadi, can you explain about tourism sector?
Yes. Tourism development is also one way of diversifying livelihood. So tourism establishments are allowed on all 3 zones provided they do not disrupt the elephant movement patterns. So agritourism activities are promoted with incentives mainly in moderately intensive development zone. But only high-end hotels for elephants weaving are promoted in low-intensive development zone. Jitmi, how about housing?
Yes. In the high-intensive development zone, we promote new houses and to allocate government land for new housing. But in low-intensive development zone, we discourage new houses and only allowed owned by privately land that transfer by gifted deeds. And we want to appreciate the community bond with land that over generation. So, yes. Likewise, we need to have new development guideline for each zone. Here we only detail productivity-centric priority area, but separate guidelines are required that addressing their priorities and unique characteristics.
So, our belief, if we want to promote coexistence, we must enhance community capabilities as well, which we termed as Sahajivana Pibuduma. In our Sahajivana Pibuduma, we propose village center called as Sahajivana Pibudum PSA. In the Sahajivana Pibudum PSA, there are mainly 5 components. If I take example in village in productivity-centric priority area and how these 5 components works as, livelihood training center provide intensive agricultural farmings and also information center provide real-time tracking data and agricultural data about for farmers. Community welfare hub also ensure access to amenities. Research and Innovation Hub conduct research and conservations about coexistence. Also, community-based fencing manage overall fencing around these villages.
So, Sahajivana Pibuduma program will be implemented in 3 stages. We identify 100 most critical villages in high-intensive development zone as Sahajivana Pubudu Gammana for first phase under 3 stages, as you can see in the map with yellow spots. So this implementation from short, medium and long term, these 3 terms are aligned with heg density zone. We hope to achieve the full coverage by 2050 according to mushroom effect.
So Navodi, is there any mechanism to upscale this Sahajivana Pubudu Gammana?
Yes, for that we propose 7 main management centers for 3 priority areas. For productivity-centric priority area, we propose Anuradhapura and Nikavaratiya as main management centers. Polonnaruwa, Trincomalee and Bibila for forest-centric priority area. For urban-centric priority area, we propose Mattala and Kalmune as main management centers.
I'm very curious right now. Through this alternative solution 3, you never mentioned about government. Is there any governance mechanism for these priority areas?
Yes, Dilip. We propose a governance mechanism. So currently, there are several overlapping with institution, and there is no any institution get the main responsibility for each area. So we want to avoid that. For that, we propose Department of Agriculture as the main responsible agency for productivity-centric priority area to maintain and manage the collaboration with other institutions. So likewise, we propose Department of Wildlife Conservation for forest-centric priority area and Urban Development Authority for urban-centric priority area as their main responsible agencies. So through this conceptual mechanism, we can manage intra and inter-regional development and connect it to the grassroots level decisions. So this implement as a bottom-up approach for regional development.
So, do you like to collaborate community-based village fencing and compact development? Can you explain about it?
Yes, community-based fencing around villages is most important component of Sahajivana Pibiduma program. Before elaborate that, let me explain what is the compact village model that we propose. When we visit Valikanda from Sevanapitiya Junction, we turn interior towards the Somavati Sanctuary. There were 3 villages, one with compact layout and other 2 were scattered. The one compacted with closest to the sanctuary but least attacked with elephants, whereas other 2 were scattered. There we identify a cluster housing with small home gardens and also located close to each other is the safest model. Therefore, we propose a clustering development in high-intensive development, and also all the government housing schemes are also encouraged with this model.
When we consider the ground implementation of village form, there are 2 forms, the compact development village form and scatter developed village form. So the village form already in compact category, we can construct the community fencing directly. But in the scatter form, the first step is to have a new plan for housing to be infill development and the edge of the boundaries. Further, we must make sure that villages having fences will not incentivize with other villages. So that we need a regional level elephant movement map that prepared by Wildlife Department that indicating stepping stone corridors and home ranges.
Dilip, do you think after implementing Sahajivana Pibiduma program, can the intrusion of elephants into villages be effectively avoided?
Yes, Navodhi. We think enhancement of community capabilities in many ways. Also, we are going to enhance elephant capabilities as well. For that, we use 2 strategies. First one is reconstruct abundant cascade system inside the protected areas and make sure water is available.
Yes. Second one is restructure food habitat. Yes, here we develop 100-meter buffer zone at around selected water bodies and planting by grasses. So here we propose to restructure 123 square kilometers in urban-centric priority area and nearly 18 square kilometers both in productivity-centric priority area and forest-centric priority area. Yes, there is a difference between this proposed value because we mainly want to keep elephants inside of the protected areas in urban-centric priority area because this area has the more potential to urbanize.
After implementing these strategies, how can we justify enhancement of coexistence? Can you explain it a little bit?
To justify, we use coexistence level. Coexistence level means the extent to which human and elephant share the same landscape with minimum conflicts or disruption. So we calculate the coexistence level using collab environment with some assumption. There we consider the number of human-elephant conflict incidents, land use type, people tolerance level and existing mitigation measures. And these are the existing coexistence level and expected coexistence level of each priority area. As you can see in this bar chart, there will be increase in coexistence level by 30% in 2050.
To conclude alternative solution 3, this map shows all our proposed strategies, and in here you can see capabilities and coexisting level have direct proportional relationship Both of them have inverse proportional relationship with heck incident. If we increase capabilities and coexisting level, we can reduce heck incidents.
Yes, let's move our final solution.
We have mainly three principles, which are we are not imposing cap for the elephants, and we are going with the flow of coexistence, and we are modeling carrying capacity if only if it is needed. So our solution is going through the coexistence by looking forward to the long-term policy change. Yes, Shahid, why we are not imposing cap?
Yeah, Nusfi. As we all know, elephants are vital for maintaining the natural ecosystem. If we impose a cap on their population, it will disrupt the natural process and also it will arise ethical concerns. After all, we are talking about controlling a growth of an entire species that are keynote species. It's important to remember that each year, you can see in this graph, the elephant population is controlled through combination of natural deaths and human caused fatalities. So, do we need an additional cap? So it seems like imposing an additional cap will have a huge negative impact on natural ecosystem process. So, how many elephants in Sri Lanka now and how many will be in 2050? When it comes to numbers, there are several disagreements. Based on 2011 census data, we predicted the elephant population for 2050 using logistic growth model. It seems like in 2050, nearly 12,000 elephants will be in Sri Lanka. In this map, you can see the conservation area which is proposed by NPP for 2050. So, this area is enough for those elephants. For that, we calculated the carrying capacity of the conservation zone using the forest type based norms. There are several assumptions and the accuracy is advanced to the available empirical norms. From the calculations, the carrying capacity of the conservation zone is nearly 16,700. This is more than the predicted elephant population. So, the conservation zone is more than enough for 2050 elephant population.
We overlapped the hack density map and the elephant's home range map with the proposed National Physical Plan of 2050. As you all can see that the pink color area, which implies the urban area, is overlapping with the high hack density. So here, by going through with this plan, in 2050, it will cause conflict between human and elephant clearly. So how can we stop this? Yeah, this is the NPP declared sensitive mapping, which included very high area to very low sensible area. So when we overlapped the hack density map with the National Physical Plan, which is proposed for 2050, here you can see that the low sensitivity area which marked as the proposed National Physical Plan sensitivity map, but in there you can see that the high hack density is happening. So from that we concluded National Physical Plan, when it comes to sensitivity, they failed to consider hack density as one of their criteria. So our group made a new sensitivity map which has included hack density also as one of the criteria for the sensitivity. Now we have right side the map which we made by including the hack density as one of the criteria, and this right side map shows the livability map which is proposed by National Physical Plan for the human settlements, and the center map shows the development potential map which is proposed by National Physical Plan. And you can clearly see that some of the area which is highly hack incidents happening area like Anuradhapura, Ampara and southern region like Hambantota are having significant high sensitivity when it comes to the new map. So then this is the proposed urban hierarchy map for the 2050 by the National Physical Plan. So here some of the we overlapped hack incidents with the hierarchy level map. So here the north central region and the southeastern region and the southern region, it has some, the areas which has high hierarchy and also has high HEC incidence. So here we need to reconsider the urban hierarchy level when it comes to 2050. So our group recommending that when it comes to the urban level, first we need to consider and need to add sensitivity as one of the criteria, the sensitivity which include HEC as one of it. So then, when it comes to like this graph method, you can see that this is sensitivity versus development potential graph. By the understanding of this graph is when the low sensitivity and when it has the high development potential area, that area can be allocated to the urban potential zone. It means we can develop the urban. When it goes to high sensitivity and the low development potential, we can allocate that area for conservation zone. But there are many of the areas in Sri Lanka which has high sensitivity and also the high development potential. This is where our group recommending to the National Physical Plan is that consider the proposed population density of that particular area when it comes to the development. Example like the metro region Hambantota, you can see that very significantly lower than goal for the population density. So rather than the equal hierarchy level, we can reduce the area extent of Hambantota Municipal Council area. Yeah, our group, National Physical Plan already proposed compact development, which is very good to address the human-elephant conflict here. So our group also recommending that each town has to be developed by doing the compact development rather than doing the edge expansion development, which cause urban sprawl to give pressure to the conservation area which is allocated for the elephant. Doing the infill development is better. Yeah, this left side map shows some of the communities who are living in the vulnerable zone and they are reluctant to move out from that zone because they have already practiced with the coexistence. So we thought that for that community, we are providing location-based sustainable fencing for them, and our group recommending the new, as I already told, we need to rearrange the hierarchy level of the National Physical Plan. So we are recommending a proposal for the National Physical Plan for the new urban hierarchy level. And the right side map shows our overall recommendation of conservation zone and how the urban areas should be.
In line with our approach, we consider some of the infrastructure projects which are proposed in NPP 2050 and we recommend NPP to reconsider them. As in the map, first we recommend to convert the proposed Dambulla to Anuradhapura and Dambulla to Trincomalee railway track as a elevated railway track project. It will help to reduce the ground-based urbanization in the conservation zone and also it will help to protect the critical elephant habitats in this region. And also we advise against promoting Hingurangoda domestic airport as an international airport and building a domestic airport in Wattala region. As we all know, Mattala airport is already serves this region and it fulfills the air needs of this region. So, do we need an additional airports in these sensitive areas? And also, we promote Oliville Harbour for agriculture logistic purpose in southern region. By promoting sea-based transportation in eastern to southern region, we can improve the agriculture purpose of this region and we can protect the conservation zone from further urban expansions. And also, we propose a logistic hub in Mahiyangana by replacing the proposed southern to eastern railway network. This logistic hub will be mainly function using air-based transportation, which is using drones to avoid the road-based traffic and road-based development. And this logistic hub mainly function using airborne transportation. So this will reduce the ground-based urbanization in the conservation zone and it will help to for further agriculture improvements. And also in NPP energy configuration project map, the most of the ground-based solar parks are located in high heck density areas. We are recommend to revise that projects as well as.
Yeah, this is our overall recommendation to the National Physical Plan. So, as we told, we are mainly keening on land use planning and the National Physical Planning Policy. So our group mentioned we are hoping that by doing the compact development, we can reduce the overlapping between agricultural land and human settlement and also conservation zone, which is proposed by National Physical Plan. By doing this, we can significantly reduce and overcome the heck density when it comes to 2050.
So we have already come to the end of our presentation. So let's have a quick summary of our approach. We select human and elephant conflict as the problem of our study. Then we conduct in-depth analysis and exploration of our problem. Then we use LUCIS as the basis, and we use spatial analysis, stakeholder consultation, and expert consultation for do this analysis. When find a solution for this problem, we come up with 3 contesting ideologies. Then we convert those 3 contesting ideologies into 4 different alternative solutions.
At least one strategy to limit the expansion of human settlements into larger areas. Likewise, all those 4 common attributes are included in our 4 alternative solutions.
Apart from these core attributes, we have some general suggestions as following. So let's discuss each of them. So our first suggestion is to revision in the current National Physical Plan. Therefore, we have already developed 4 different alternative solutions as this figure shows. So also I invited you all, to those who do not scan this QR code, so you can vote for our Mentimeter poll. So let's move to our second suggestion. Our second suggestion is prepare and implement plan for local level and regional level. Do you think our plans are more detailed or not? However, first we have to detail out our plan into our plan in spatial resolution for its actual spatial boundary. Therefore, we have initiated with 5 km by 5 km grid and detailed out our plan into that resolution. So we can have some accurate and more realistic plans through this process. Also, we prepare some village level plans as well. So we have already identified some villages to implement those plans. And we already developed some regulation for these village levels as well.
So our third suggestion is to establish citizen science-based spatial digital decision-making system. So there are more than 1,000 institutions in Sri Lanka and also over 20 million population in our country. So the government data is already available. What about the data that we can collect from over these 20 million population? Can't it make a big difference? So yes, it can. So we can collect data from individual citizens through crowdsourcing. Through this, we can gather more real-time and updated data. So since the larger number of individuals are contributing, the accuracy may not be a big problem. So also, we are suggesting to integrate this information system with other institutions as well. So doing so, we can enhance the community awareness and improve the quality of government decision making. So this is kind of a detailed interpretation of our information system. So we can enhance the IoT-based solutions to gather more data and information.
So our last suggestion is to introduce guidelines, standards, and approval process for effective mitigation measures. So here we have initiated with develop a kind of guidebook including the following information. This guidebook is not about discuss the electric fencing. This should incorporate other type of fencing that is being experimented all over the country. So these are the overall general suggestion that we suggest to our project.
Okay, so as you see, we have like 4 alternative solutions for this human-elephant conflict. And I must emphasize, before concluding this session, I must emphasize that all these scenarios, all these 4 scenarios have their own merits. Why? Because they were developed based on a thorough analysis, even though I must emphasize that there are also some gaps in what we did. Why? Because the whole task was completed within 8 weeks of time, and also we had, because of that, we had to depend on certain assumptions, and also in certain tasks, we had limited data to come to conclusions and also to do analysis. Therefore, still, there is space for future developments, future improvements in these scenarios. And also, I must appreciate, I must acknowledge the work that has been done by the Department of Wildlife and also by other researchers and practitioners, because the entire project depended on the load of work that they completed before us. And also, I would like to thank Dilmah Conservation, Dilmah team, for trusting our young minds and also giving this opportunity for us and to present what we did during a very small time period. And also we appreciate what Dilmah Group is doing for this human-elephant conflict to sustainably manage this human-elephant conflict in Sri Lanka. And ladies and gentlemen, that marks the end of our presentation, and also we hope to have a fruitful discussion afterwards. And also as the Department of Town and Country Planning, University of Moratuwa, we are willing to engage in these kind of projects, interventions in the future as well for the betterment, for the development of our mother nation. Thank you very much.